Coach Quinn and junior nose guard Christian Sicoli. Get ready for Kent State on Saturday. Coach, for an open up the statement, and then we'll take questions.
Very good. Yeah, it's good to see you back, John. And thank you for everyone for being here. Certainly one of the most exciting times to be a part of our football program, the University of Buffalo. I really challenge our kids to lock out the external factors from Saturday's game and really lock into what they had to do, and that's what they did. You know, we wanted to run the ball. We were able to do that. I thought our offensive line and everyone contributed to Bo being able to break that record, and certainly we need to continue to lean on our run game offensively. I thought Joe did a great job, again, handling the ball, continues to manage our offense, continues to give us a winning performance. I also felt that, defensively was a tremendous job. Stopping the run, creating some takeaways. Now we are the number 2 team in the nation in terms of takeaway margin, which is the battle that you're always focused on as a football program. Our kids understand that. They did a great job. I thought the special teams play by Tyler Grassman really set up the field position. I think the turning point in that game was that safety, but it was set up by Tyler, putting it down there. And Brandon Meary, great job being in the right place as we asked them to be. But overall, just a tremendous victory at home. And with the conditions as they were, I thought our kids handled the whole thing extremely well. Now, what's that mean? That means we have to go on the road against Kent State. We know it's an important game for us. It's the only game that we're focused on. We know they have a tremendous football player in Dre Archer, the fastest player in the league. We know that. We're very much aware of number 34, Durham, their big running back. They do a good job of featuring him and Dre. We're not sure about where their quarterback situation is right now, but we'll be prepared for both. Offensive line, their offensive line, again, just a good, solid group of guys. Defensively, they have an outstanding defensive lineman in Nix, number 5. Their safety, outstanding. They play the box very well. They're up there. They're in a 4-down, 3-down mentality, but they play a lot of man coverage, a lot of quarter coverage. Special teams, we did hear their place kicker is out, and they're going to obviously have their next guy in. But they've got a lot of respect for Coach Haynes and his staff and their players, and we know this is a critical step in our season as we get prepared for Kent State. We need everyone to go. We need everyone all in, and that's going to be a great sign for us as a program to know that people here, our university, our students, are all going to be at that game Saturday. With that, I want to introduce to you Christian Sicoli. Christian's from Broomfield, New Jersey, a young man that came in at 220 pounds and now is 300 pounds. And I think everybody told him when he was a high school prospect that they didn't think he could get that big. So I said, well, some good home cooking in Buffalo will get you there, along with the training program that we have with Coach Duval. But this is a young man that provides us with the right kind of leadership. As our starting nose guard, he's really stepped into that role and responsibility very well. And that's a big reason why our defense has been able to really step up and keep offenses off the scoreboard. He's had some outstanding semesters in the classroom as he continues to grow. He's done a fantastic job in that area. He's been one of the key guys in my first recruiting class that I had a relationship with before coming here. And he's really turned out to be an outstanding young man. He's a junior, so we get a chance to see him for the remaining of this season and next year, and we lean very heavily on him. This is a guy that can bench press well in the 400-pound range and cleans over 400 pounds, and he squats over 600 pounds. So, he loves that weight room, and it's been translated on the field. So we're very proud to have Christian here as representing our football program. With that, I'd like to open any questions.
Well, Jeff, can you just Bob says right in this. Can you just update us on Colby and Alex? Both are doing decent out here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, doing really well. We got some great news on both of them that they're progressing, much better than you first think, could potentially take place. But they're day-to-day. and they're going to continue to, be in the mindset that they want to get out there and play as soon as they, are able to do that. So they're providing us with great leadership. Jason Carlson's surgery went extremely well yesterday. He's in very good spirits, and that's what I've asked these guys to do, is continue encouraging our football team to move forward. And the other guys are going to have the opportunity to step in. But both those guys, we're hoping, Colby and Alex, that we would be able to get them back in, soon.
Jeff, Paul Peck from Buffalo Bulls Radio. On the offensive line now, you made the switch mid-game, and I guess according to the two deep, it's going to stay with Kling at left tackle and Carlson guard. Can you just explain the thought process of moving Andre over and why you're going that direction?
Well, actually, we moved Andre from nose guard to open up spot for, yeah, exactly. When you got a lot of players and they're all locked in that big power position, we moved them over to offensive guard. As you know, Andre came over and started for us, and we really felt he was our best option at left tackle. Well, with John, he's had, he had this little hand deal that, kept him out. But as soon as we got John Kling back, I could tell his progress has been outstanding. He's really he's a long lever guy. He's, about 6'7". Now he's built himself up just like Christian, to being a guy that we can rely on and see if he could go in and play and compete at the highest level. And that's why Coach Short, our offensive line coach, and I talked about getting those guys in early in the season. Give them some chances to get some series in. Let them play. Don't wait until somebody gets hurt and then get him in. And that's what we've been doing, and we've been developing him all along, and he's done a great job. We think that's our best option right now based on what we have. So Andre's a big, thick young man. I think he's a powerful kid. He'll give us a lot that Jason gave us. And then Kling, again, who was moving quite well, and he's very athletic, very smart, bright football player. Gives us a solid left side now as we continue to keep working Blodgett and Silas. And then, the guy who keeps it all together is my man in the nose guard position. That's Sicoli, and him battle every day. You should see these two big grizzly bears go at it. Sales and Sicoli. It's a pleasure to watch.
Andre played a lot guard his first year as a starter and played pretty well. Is it, in a lot of ways, is that a little more of his natural position? Maybe where you feel like he can be even a better at guard than maybe a tackle? Well,
we felt that to be true, that Andre Davis was best suited to be an offensive guard. We just knew that with the graduation, a couple of the tackles, Gio, we felt that Andre gave us our best option at left tackle, and he worked extremely hard at it. And that just shows the maturity and responsibility he has. I think he's going to feel very comfortable at guard. It's somewhere where I think he feels good about. He understands his opportunity to get back inside and be next to Trevor and be on the other side of Blodgett. And then, he can help bring along, Kling. And I think his experience and his calls and understanding of things will keep John settled down there, and I think it's a good combination. It's not what I wanted to see, but, it does provide opportunities for other guys, and I think Andre is best suited to be inside without a doubt, and I think he'll enjoy himself in that position and continue leading our team.
Coach Mike Bunt, UB Bull Run. How do you begin to try to contain a player like Dre Archer, who has the ability to take it to the house anytime he touches the ball?
Yeah, there's no question. He's that talented. He's been blessed with a lot of speed. If there's a 4.3 40 guy in this league, he's it. There's nobody like him. And, he's going to line up on Saturday, and we certainly need to be very, very specific to how we game plan against Dre. We need to make sure that we're covering sideline to sideline and, at the line of scrimmage, along with being able to be active in our pursuit angles, wrap them up when we get our chances. And, it's hard to contain great players, but, we certainly feel good about our players and our defense, and they'll be up for the challenge.
And that's hardest to do when he's a receiver, right?
I would say so. Correct. Yeah, and they put him in the backfield, and when he's back there, that's mainly, there's a reason why he's back there. But, he's effective as a kick returner, we all know, and we all know he's very effective as a slot receiver. So, they've got him placed in the right place, and we've seen him, so it's going to require a lot from our corners and safeties and linebackers to be able to contain them, and that's, nobody's really been able to do that. I mean, he took one kickoff against Northern Illinois for 100 yards, and that's for a touchdown. So he can take that house anytime. So, we just got to be sound in our structure of defending their formations and what they're doing with them, and and certainly do a great job of wrapping them up and pursuing the ball when he does have it.
Would you anticipate risking even kicking to him, or just take him out of the equation?
Well, those are all topics of discussion that we're all having. I'm not the only one discussing whether you kick it to a 4-3 guy. But it's exciting to know that there's that kind of quality of football player in our league, and for us to know that a great player like him, and certainly with the great player in Khalil Mack and Bo, and there's going to be some. This is an exciting matchup. When you really look at it. And I think everybody I know in our locker room and our coaching staff is excited about the opportunity to see where we're at and be able to play against that kind of speed. And we've played against great speed now. We played Baylor. They had a lot of guys that went out there and ran really fast too. And we certainly look back at that a little bit and didn't work out exactly the way we'd like to. But it's important to know that we faced good competition already this season, and we just got to play our game and stay locked into the little things that our coaches are asking our players to know, to be able to defend them.
Christian, go ahead.
Coach Bentar on the spectrum. Last season, when you played Kent State, it was before you switched quarterbacks, it was before Coach Tep's defense really set in. About 239 yards rushing. Alex only had 2 catches. What do you think makes this team better equipped to play Kent State?
Our football team right now is more mature. This is a veteran group. There's 22 seniors and 23 juniors, and I've said it all along. Their maturity and their leadership, their focus and their attention to detail, staying locked in, it's much different, from last year. Even in that early in the season last year, we weren't quite ready to measure up against that kind of offense last year at that particular time. But as time moved along, we saw the growth. We saw the development. We saw the confidence coming. They got in and spent more time film studying and understanding what Coach Tepp and my entire defensive staff was asking them to do. As a matter of fact, they were kind of getting, comfortable with Coach Tepp's terms and things of that nature. It takes time. But at the end of the season last year and going even up to this point, there's no comparison to last year's defense that went on that field against Kent State at home as the defense that we're going to have going to Kent State this Saturday.
Christian, I'm experienced in trying to move my weight the other direction. How does one go from 220 to 300? I mean, is that a process where you step on the scale and it's like, all right, I'm 223, and it just keeps. I mean, how do you go about that?
Well, it's definitely I'd say it's a day-to-day process, really. That's how you got to look at it, And it was basically just 3 years of not only with I got to give a lot of credit to Zach Duvall. He does a great job. Our strength coach is outstanding. But beyond that, even he set me up, with a calorie counting program, and I know every day I basically write into my phone every single thing I ate. And long story short, you average about 7,000 calories a day. You eat when you don't want to eat. And it's a give and take too sometimes. And then we got to a point where we thought, well, maybe now it's too much. Maybe we should cut down a little bit. And it's a day-to-day process, and it's a long time in the working. But I'm very thankful for what I've been able to get to.
Is that 7,000 good calories? I mean, you just trying to eat a bucket of wings?
Yeah, I don't know if it's realistic to release 7,000 good calories every day, but you try to make them as good as you can. I mean, I'm not saying I went to McDonald's every day, but you try and cook at home as much as you can, and then sometimes you have to give out a little bit on eating healthy and to eat more because you want to put more weight on. So it's all give and take, and working hard at it every day.
So you put in your phone what you ate?
Yeah.
To him?
Well, yeah,
He
it was like a deal where he had my account number and password or whatever, so he can go in and check what I ate any day he wanted to, kind of. So, yeah, it was pretty neat.
And how quickly did that come for you? Where you started to see?
I'd say, and that's just one example. I mean, that we did that this last off season. It's been 3 off seasons in the working. Other off seasons, we see each other almost every day. Especially in the off season. So, and he'd look at my weight every day and see how I'm doing. And on average, I probably put on about 20 to 30 pounds every off season. So, it was 3 years in the working, really. Yeah. Yep.
Chris and Mark Holmes from Time Warner Cable Sports. Do you feel like the last couple of weeks, your role has been increasing? I saw you play against Eastern Michigan, and then I did the color on this past week on the game. And you have great linebacking core, but I really thought you stood out against UMass. I said this nose guard really started to control the line of scrimmage. Do you feel that your role is getting a little bit bigger now as you're progressing? Like you said, you get bigger, you get some more experience. How do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you telling me I've been doing better. But like you said, I do have a great linebacking core, and when they have to triple team or at least double team Mac every play, it definitely helps all of us. So I got to give credit to that. And then not even just Mac though. Lee Skinner, Jake Stockman. They do a great job behind me, and the faster they pursue the ball, the easier it makes it on me. So they it's a whole team effort, and Colby Way and Dalton Barksdale behind me. I'm just really excited about how everybody on my defense has been able to step it up and keep improving every week. And I wouldn't necessarily say my role's gotten bigger. I'd say maybe it's just me. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, it's me. Thanks to Jappy Oliver, working on the little things to get better, and then that allows me maybe to. I may get the shine or spotlight, make a big play, but a lot of times it's a whole front seven deal where this guy's got to get double teamed, this guy's doing a great job, so I may come free. So I got to give a lot of credit to my defense and especially Jappy Oliver, for working with me on that. Yeah.
Jeff, you mentioned signing Christian, early. How does that process work, and how do you look at a guy who's 220 and project him down the road, where he's going to be 3 years down the road?
Well, I remember the first time I shook his hand, and I said, he's got a lot of growth potential. As simple as that, and I looked at, his frame, and I do rely upon my coaching staff, especially Zach Duval, and, the one thing that I always always get excited about is to see somebody who comes in at 220, because we know that the way you win in this business is bringing the right kind of people with the work ethic necessary, but also to have a plan to develop them. We talk about the physical development, skill development, and I've had great success when I was at Grand Valley, when I was at Central Michigan, even Cincinnati, with strength. With our strength coaches, and Zach is, somebody that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and he's got a great plan. He keeps a close tab, as on these guys, but it's up to those kids, if they want to fulfill their, their dreams and opportunities, then they know they can come here. Because we have the right plan for them, and they'll develop. And, listen, he's, like Christian said, it's been 3 years. These guys have dedicated countless hours in that weight room, putting an extra plate on. And as time moves along, I saw Joe Staley, and I might have shared this with Christian, I'm not sure, but Joe Staley was 220 pounds also, maybe 215 when we took the job at Central Michigan and moved him to tackle. By the time he was a fourth-year player, didn't get redshirted, he was still the 4.7 40 guy at 305 pounds. So now you have proof, living evidence, that these guys can certainly, you can take a 220 guy. Look at Mac. Mac was 215, 220. He's up to 250, 255. So, they're just going to mature more. The body's just going to have more. You're not going to be where you're at when you're a junior in high school. I already know that. I've looked beyond that. So, but I want to look at the individual himself, and that's what I saw in Christian. He was so motivated. Comes from a great family. That's how you pick these kids. And plus, he's from New Jersey, and I needed a little bit more representation out of my Jersey state. And we want more of those guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was great. And I just think he's, like you said, he's feeling better about himself. He's bigger, he's stronger, more physical. He's smarter. He's doing his homework, and that's why he's being so effective. And I think you're going to hear a lot more about Christian Sicoli as time moves along.
by the nature of the defense that you play, we talk all about all the other names that even Christian has mentioned, but by the nature of the defense that you play, how important is the nose tackle, and how much has he personally and the players playing that position elevated a lot of things around them?
Well, how important it is, it's, you can take it any way you want. You can start with the nose guard on the defense. You can go to the middle linebacker and the free safety. How important those three guys? Key. They're right down the middle. You can go to the center, the quarterback, the fullback, the tailback. Though that's a critical group of guys that really make things flow on each side of the ball. And if you have a dominant nose guard, somebody knows how to occupy more than one blocker. Because if he does get single block, he's got to make those plays, and he's been able to show that he's capable of doing that. But he's got to gobble up those other big guys, and take on guards. And so the guys like Skinner and Mack and Stock make those plays, and that's the beauty of having a big nose guard in a 3-down defense. And Christian was that guy we kept looking at very strongly early on. Like, look, we got to get you bigger. You got to get faster. You got to get more powerful. You got to study the game more, and it's good to see his development to where it is. But it's key, as Lou will tell you, it starts right there, and that's a beautiful thing. Just like as an offensive line coach, I always said it starts with who? The center, and it works its way back. And he's made a lot of great plays, but he's helped a lot of other players make those great plays. So that's the contributing factor, and we keep leaning on his leadership because he's an outstanding young man.
The success that Penn State had rushing the ball last year, and you guys, is there talks amongst you and some of the other defenders about playing with a chip on your shoulder and getting some vengeance from last year?
Playing with a chip on our shoulder, I'd say yes, but I think it has nothing to do with Kent State. What we play with, we try to play with a chip on our shoulder every game. And we take great pride in stopping the run. At least I know my front seven does. And not that the back four guys don't either, but that's just something that we take a lot of pride in. So it's not about Kent State. It's not about who we play. I mean, we respect everybody. I mean, I respect every opponent, but we don't really focus on who we play. It's more about we got to do our job every week to stop the run, because that's just what we hold ourselves accountable to. So I don't. Last year's last year, and to be honest with you, that was a great performance by them, but it doesn't play much of a factor to me. To me, it's about this Saturday we have to stop the run, and other things too. But since you brought up the run, that's what I'm concerned with, is and what we are concerned with is this Saturday and what we do now to keep our identity as a great defense going. Yep.
Coach Jonathan Snyder, Bull Run. Switching gears a little bit here, for the fourth straight week, a Bull was named Mackey's Division Player of the Week with Redden for the second time. With Redden having now had it twice, and other guys have gotten it, what does that say about individual play each week, someone stepping up, especially on the defensive side of the ball?
Mm-hmm. Well, Adam Redden being named and recognized says a lot about his preparation and his ability to step up and perform to the highest level, because they're running away from Khalil. And so Adam Redden's on the other side. And we said it all spring long. I said, look, people are not going to run to 46. So get ready over there, 29, because they're going to come your way. And, he's such a competitor. I mean, I love Adam Redden's spirit, his competitive fire. He's just a tough kid, plays the game the way you want all your players to play. And he's rising to the occasion. And now what happens is his statistics this past Saturday against UMass showed that his performance should be recognized as one of the best. His second time of doing that, So what's that mean? It means guys like Khalil Mack help other players become great players. As we always talk about in our program, iron sharpens iron, as does one man sharpens another, and that's what it's done for Adam. And he just continues to gets better, but he's been prepared the right way. He trains, he's tough, he's smart. I just love it, and you can't get enough of those guys. I tell all our coaches, look, when you recruit outside backers and safeties, recruit them like Mack and Redden. And you're never going to walk off that field a loser. It's a great feeling.
Christian, I think you played a lot of positions in high school, didn't you? You were kind of
yeah, decent amount.
Didn't you kick and punt or something?
Yeah, I kicked.
Okay.
I tried tight end, but they didn't let me do that too much.
Well, where did you see yourself playing in college, when you were back in high school? Where did you think you might end up?
Well, I mean, I was 220 like Coach said, so I did see myself at defensive end, and that's what I came in here as too. As a freshman, that's where I saw myself then. But as you can see, times change and things change, and you go to whatever your coaches feel you're going to be best at, and whatever you have the best potential to be at. And I remember Coach Oliver had a talk with me a couple of years ago, and he said, I really think that you can help us at nose guard. He said, you're a fine defensive end, but I think you can provide a lot of help for us at nose guard, and I said, I'm all for it, however I can help the team the most and, meet my potential, the highest it can be, that's where I want to be. Yeah.
Coach, Kent State enters at 2-6, a year after being ranked in the top 25, representing the East in the MAC championship and going to a bowl game. What differences are with this year's team? Obviously they've had a coaching change, they've had some injuries, but why has this team, I guess, had the drop off that they've had compared to last year?
Well, I don't see I know the record, you're looking at that, but, okay, let's face it, they've played a very challenging schedule, okay? Been in that position, okay, just like last year. I'm not looking at the record. Our players are not looking at the record. We know that it's going to be a four-quarter battle. It's going to be a classic Mid-American Conference football game. And that's the way we're approaching it. So, you play an LSU and a Penn State, and look at how well Ball State's playing. They've played Northern Illinois. Those teams are all very good football teams, and I think that's contributed to where they are. So, the last thing I'm talking about is records to our players. We know Kent State. We've got a lot of respect for them, so it's going to be a battle, and we need everybody out there to witness a great college game day atmosphere, and we need as many people out there. So if you can keep people coming, we'd appreciate it.
Jeff, does the guessing game on their quarterback situation present any challenges? Because it seems like their quarterbacks are a little bit different in their styles. How much does that give you extra work during the course of the week to get ready?
It does, I think a little bit, because, when you see on film, maybe one likes to do a little bit more zone read than maybe hand the ball off. We know they're going to hand the ball off to Durham and Archer and try to get the ball to those guys. We know that. And then they got a couple nice receivers, number 5 and number 6. They're tight end, certainly. But, I don't think you spend an amount of time with your players other than, look, if he's in the game, this is what they like to do with him. So be aware and be prepared. And so whoever they have in there, will be ready. I think our defense is seen, about everything, in regards to quarterbacks at this point.
Anything else? All right,
Okay.
Christian, you're available for one-on-ones.
Thank you.